Today's guest is Noel, better known as Farm Girl Scavenger on YouTube. So today I'm going to ask you some questions about reselling and yeah. But before I do that,
don't have to get into my criminal background or yours. We're good. No, I'm just joking.
That's okay. Farm Girl Scavenger. I will have Noel's link in my description. I highly recommend you go down and subscribe to her, and I'm going to tell you why. You sell the most unique, craziest items for the most profit I've ever seen. Honestly, like when I see some of your posts that you have sold, some of the items that you have sold, and then I see what you sold them for, it's like crazy. Not only that, I also love your Let's Talk About It series that you have. I usually catch them on replay, but I could tell so much that you love to teach people. Like you love it. I could just tell.
You were there. You were in there last Thursday night. I saw you in there.
Yes, I was in there. But you know what I like about it too? And it was so weird because I just picked up the very next day after I have a bunch. I was going to comment, but I didn't. But I had gotten like 13 boxes of all different types of glass. And I think it was your glass one. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's so weird that you have this one.
Last week was everyday household glass because somebody asked me. I had asked the previous week, does anybody have anything specific that they would like me to talk about? And somebody put in, can you talk about glass? Well, I have a bookshelf that's full of books, and I could talk about glass every week for the next 12 years, and I would still not be able to talk about every kind of glass there is out there. So I was like, you got to be more specific. Well, clear glass, and a lot of people think that clear glass isn't worth any money, but that's not true.
Well, yeah. Well, it gave me some encouragement because I have
glass every day in our house. We do. So where did we get it from? Did it just materialize? No, somebody bought it somewhere, somehow.
Right. And right after that, now I do have some of the things because I got a lot of decorative glass and I got a lot of drinking glasses, all different kinds. But I wanted to bring it up. I'll send you a picture later on Instagram, but I'll also have your Instagram account in my description. But there's this glass I wanted to show you.
Instagram's my favorite place to hang out.
Is it? Yeah, but there's this one I wanted to show you, Noel. It's a very, very, it's only about this round, but it's very, very thin. Okay. This thin, and I got like 6 or 8 of them. I tried Google Lens. I can't find them, but it's very thin. And it has like you can put your finger through it to hold. I don't know what it is, but I wanted to show it on the video. I wanted to show it during this, but I forgot. But I'll show it to you later. But anyway, go down and subscribe to her channels. She shows the most interesting things that you wouldn't even think about but it makes you think outside the box. You know what? Well, maybe I could sell this,
If it's sold once, it will sell again.
Yeah. Like what I seen you posting, was it Tic Tacs or something last week?
Oh, I sell Tic Tac gum, has been discontinued for years. And I just happened I go to a liquidation store frequently, not as much as I used to, but my son and I used to go, and they had, if they have discontinued stuff, I'll scan it and see, what's going on with it. And I was like, oh, holy moly. Now, Tic Tac gum has different flavors, but their fresh mint, the white one that looks like a Tic Tac, a white Tic Tac, and their spearmint are the ones that people really, really want. And very few people have them. As a matter of fact, I just found 24 more containers.
That's why they don't have them.
I thought were listed, but aren't, and they are now.
And yeah.
Kind of like.
And how much were you selling them for?
I sell 3 Tic Tac containers, the little ones, of gum for I like to get $15 each for, so I'll have them listed for $69.99 easy. And I'll sit on them. I'll sit on them until nobody else has them, because why not? I mean, I don't need to give them away. I paid 25 cents a piece for them.
Now I live by a Big Lots, and that's like kind of a liquidation kind of a store, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay. But now, how would I know? How would anybody know if they're new to reselling or whatever? How would they know it's discontinued? Like, how do you know something's discontinued?
You can go on Google and find out, but you just scan it, start watching resellers. One of my favorite people to watch is Jen, Thrift to Travel. She does have a YouTube channel. She has a lot of videos, and she started making more videos, but she went for a long time not doing videos. Watch her on Instagram. And then there is Brian, I'll think of his name here in a little bit. He hasn't been doing a lot. I can't Ecom Hicks, HICKS, Ecom Hicks, Brian. And then and there's a bunch of other ones. But if you go check out Jen at Thrift to Travel, then you'll see a lot of the other ones that they comment on, or they'll send her videos and stuff like that. But she's not very far. I'm at the bottom of Washington. I'm at the south end of Washington. She's at the top end of Washington. So, well, I shouldn't say she's not very far, because you guys on the East Coast, your states are tiny.
Yeah.
3 or 4 of your states could fit in Washington. So,
really? Yeah.
Well, look at the map. You did take geography.
I know. I'm not. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Who's the president of the United States?
Biden, yeah.
Jay Leno used to do that. He'd go to the college campuses, right, and ask all these kids who the vice president or who, it used to crack me up. Anyway.
Yeah, we watch him at 5:30 comes on. He does that. He has some kind of game show on. We watch him every night.
That's hilarious.
I forget what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, because you guys have all the little states, right? They're all clustered.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Anyway, you're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So do you mind me asking, like, what kind of work did you do before Noel?
I was raised on a dairy farm. I have 4 siblings. I'm the 4th of 5. We milked at our highest amount, a little around 200 cows twice a day. My dad was killed in a farming accident.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
1990. My 2 older brothers and my mom ran the farm to about the middle of the 90s, and then they pretty much just shut the farm down. They sold the cows, and my brother Gus, who's just above me, and then my mom got remarried and moved away, and my 2 brothers both lived in the farmhouse. There was a 10-year period of my life that I didn't live in that house, but for the most part, I've lived there pretty much all my life until last year. Anyway, so as far as having milking cows, we stopped having milking cows in the late 90s, and then did a lot of custom farming, that kind of stuff. I worked at Freightliner. So I built the Freightliner trucks.
Wow.
I worked in a nursing home for 4 years. I worked at the hospital for 5 years. And then I got really sick with my thyroid, and I couldn't work for a couple of years. Then I went and I did private. I couldn't work in the real world. I did private care. Took care of a friend of mine that I grew up in high school. I took care of her mom. She had MS. And then an opportunity came up for me to be able to get a job at Freightliner, and I did. And I worked there off and on for about 10 years. There were several layoffs. One of the few first female foreman there. And
I was just gonna say, you kind of had like more male type, kind of like that.
I was raised
like a mechanic.
Everybody worked everything. There's no difference. And unless you can't physically do something, and women are not.
I just didn't know, because you said you were one of the first female foreman,
Well, that has nothing to do with being man-like.
Well, no, I didn't mean it like that, but
it has to do with being smart and knowing your job and applying for the position.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
That's all it has to do. But I got treated like garbage from a lot of guys, because here I had this position, and I said, well, that position was open. You guys could have applied for it. Why didn't you apply for it?
Right.
You're going to treat me differently now that I'm not side by side with you. You think
Yeah.
I'm your foreman. I said, we are in a union. I cannot discipline you. I stepped up from being a line employee to a foreman employee. If you don't come in, I'm going to be doing your job. I know all the jobs in this area and whatever. I had some problems with some people. And I said, you know, I've known you guys for a long time, and now all of a sudden I'm the foreman, and you're treating me differently. And I
was just going to say, yeah.
the only difference between you and me is our job title. I said, everything that you need, you come to me. Do I get it for you? Yeah. Do you have any complaints about that? Yeah. Why are you treating me any different? I can't get you in trouble. I can't write you up because you're my union brother or sister. That's supervision. You got the company, you got the supervisors, and you got us.
Yeah.
And I'm still your person. And it was funny because after I talked to them and had that conversation with them, then things were much better, because I said, I'm not here to make sure that I'm just here to make sure you have everything you need to do your job and help you and train you and get you what you need. That's what that's all I'm doing now. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't look at things that way, but then when I got laid off from there the last time in 2007, they had a big layoff, and most of the big layoffs in jobs like Freightliner and in car manufacturing are due to changes in emissions.
Oh.
Because they were getting steeper and steeper, and they are now, right? They're wanting to have more electric vehicles and less gas-powered vehicles because it's better for the environment. Well, it is to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But people should do their research on what it's doing to the earth to dig out the minerals that it takes to make a battery. Even Elon Musk says that electric cars are worse for the environment. If a Tesla catches on fire, it takes 10 to 12 hours to put that fire out.
Really? Oh my gosh.
So it doesn't really matter. You know, I mean, how many people have invented cars that run off of vaporization, water vapor, and that kind of stuff? So, I mean, there's ways out there to power vehicles that don't need fossil fuels or minerals from the earth that we have to damage to dig up. It's just a matter of
yeah.
So I worked as a welding inspector, QA, QC. I went from Freightliner to welding. And while I did QA, QC, I transferred from that job into QA, QC at Freightliner. And so then when that layoff happened, they had a big job fair, and I went and applied at Evraz Oregon Steel Mills, which Evraz Steel Mills is a worldwide global business. And I got hired right away for that. So I did welding inspection on the big spiral weld pipes that carry natural gas and oil, the big inside and out. I inspected millions of miles of welds. And crash happened in 2008, 2009. And then I went and I worked for an inspection company called Acuren Inspection, and I traveled and did welding inspection, ultrasound, radiography, magnetic particle, anything that had to do with inspecting the viability of a weld.
Wow. That sounds interesting, though.
Then I got sick. I had cancer, so I quit working.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Back to that was in 2011, 2012. About 2013, I went back to welding inspection, and my daughter-in-law was pregnant with Dren, and she had type 1 diabetes, and just things weren't doing well. And I ended up coming back home. I worked for a company locally here and did welding inspection. And then it was just like, then I got laid off from that. And I had a landscaping business off and on for 15 years that I did a lot of that myself. all myself. I have a degree in agriculture, horticulture. And then I started selling. People started giving me stuff. Can you haul this away? Can you do this? Can you do that? And so I started selling stuff on eBay and that's where that is. And that's all I do now.
So you also take care of your grandsons, you said, right?
I have one grandson. He's 9 and you'll see him almost, almost and he loves to lecture me on how I should be running my YouTube channel.
I watched the video. I don't know how far you went. I watched pretty much of the video, but I was falling asleep only because it was getting late. But he was in the back seat, and you were going pretty far, but this was like the yard sale or estate sale, whatever it was. That was so cool that you ended up in all that stuff there. You got that cool lamp for $100 and all those chenille blankets and that leather purse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was like, my heart would have been racing at that sale. I know yours was because you spent all that money.
Well, I know the people who had that sale because he is actually an employee of my brother's, and they're the coolest people. But his wife and daughter just love to go to estate sales and shopping and stuff like that, and they stock up for this community yard sale every year. And I'm there. I'm like scanning stuff on Google Lens, and I'm showing them. Do you know how much this is? Let me help you an eBay store, and they're all like, And
yeah, you were getting those what were they? All those chenille blankets you bought and those quilts.
Yep. And some of it she wouldn't let me pay for. It was so funny because she goes, "Oh no, I'm just going to throw that in." And so,
hey, that lamp was gorgeous, and I'll put the link to that too. Can I put your link in my description?
That lamp's going to go right there.
Oh, because that's something I'd be thinking like, should I keep that?
I have it right here.
I've seen it. Well, you could show it. Yeah.
I have it right here. Because I was going to list it, but
I know I seen you said the sold listings were like $3,500, some of them.
Oh yeah. But I need one of my boys to hold it while I take pictures. That just hasn't happened yet. So I have never taken it to my storage, but
oh, that's gorgeous.
That's how it's going to look right now because I'm not going to fix it all up. But
yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, it's going to go right there.
Yeah.
Because why not?
I know. I got this nice stained glass one down in the kitchen, and my husband's like, I'm just going to put it over the fan. I'm like, no, don't do that. And he did it, and I'm happy he did it. Yep. So I didn't think it would look right, but I love it.
Well, sometimes we got to keep a few things to enjoy for ourselves, and it will look really pretty in here with the coloring of this room.
Yeah, I was when you were getting that, I'm thinking, I hope she keeps it because it's so pretty, so much prettier than they have to watch the video to it,
Yeah.
But that was a good sale, especially that brown leather purse too with the fringe.
Oh, I sold that. That's long gone. I think that the title to that one is "I'll make thousands off of this garage sale." Something or my most garage sale yet. Something
that
like
was a long road trip. How did he do on it? He did pretty good though. And then you stopped and he was out playing for a while in the water with the kids somewhere, and that was nice.
Yep. Actually, that was the community sale right in my town.
Yeah.
But it was a busy long day, and he just.
I thought it looked like how long did it take you? Because it looked like a long ride.
It was.
Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
It was only like 5 or 10 minutes. But when you're when you're on a video, I've had a couple friends say, why don't you do some of the driving for where you're going so that people can see the countryside and stuff like that. And so, that the beginning of that video, if you don't want to see all that, I would fast forward maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just because I'm driving and chit chatting and stuff like
Well,
that.
I was listening for a while, and I'm thinking, I wonder how far this is, because I was listening for a pretty while.
It was really only 5 miles.
Was it? Yeah, but then you got there, and I'm like, oh my God, and it was like worth it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like just all that stuff, good stuff. So like also in one of your videos, I heard you saying something about your mom and your sister with the vintage sock machine.
Yep.
I never even heard of one of them.
Yep. My mom and my sister and my niece do. They're circa late 1800s, early 1900s circular sock machines that the Salvation Army, they kind of sort of sold them, but they kind of sort of gave them out. Basically what happened was you could order one and get it, but you had to make so many pairs of socks for somebody in the service, and then you could keep it. It was yours.
Yeah.
And there's a whole world out there that is just the circular sock machine, CCM.
I never even heard of it. So
you can look them up. There's YouTube. My sister has a channel. She doesn't do too much on them, but you can look them up and you can see, and these people are big.
And
time.
do they make socks?
My sister makes all kinds of things, socks, purses.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
letters.
Yeah, see, I don't.
She teaches. She's
Yeah.
New Zealand.
I just found it interesting.
I mean, it's a world unbeknownst to a lot of people. So when I tell you, when you say that I show people things that
well, that's what you do. You show and tell.
They really aren't outside the box. It's just not in your box of collection.
Right.
So somebody was saying to me the other day, well, I just really don't look at I just really only look at the stuff that I like. I get that, but just because you don't like, what am I listing these on? Just because you don't like these weird vintage rings doesn't mean somebody else doesn't, because their grandma made them some years ago.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
If you are a vintage reseller, you are selling memories. You are selling somebody a memory.
Yep. Yeah.
So just because it's something that you don't like doesn't mean it's something that somebody else doesn't like. And so the Clorettes and the Tums and the Tic Tacs and the gum and the Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, I wish I could find some of them.
Bottle. These things, people.
Oh, I remember that gum.
People have vintage stores set up and they want these things, but there's other people that want them because I'm sure you guys all enjoy watching movies. Well, where do you think they get all this stuff, the props and stuff in their movies? Where do you think they get the little vintage whistles and that kind of stuff? You don't think that they're having somebody make them up, do you? No, they're going, I sell stuff to props departments all the time. Yeah.
I sold something before to somebody that I think was famous. I forget what it was though. You think I'd remember it, but it was something odd, you know? It was a long time ago. But anyway, so I was watching some of your videos too before we get into the resell and stuff. I just don't want to forget because I found so many of them interesting. And I actually start looking more into it. I heard about them before, but the 1925, the Sears kit, the house kits, 1925 house. So can you explain what that is like, and what you're doing? Is that what you're living in now?
We sold the farm. Our family sold the farm. It's all a trust. So we sold the farm last year, and as a matter of fact, April 1st was my year here. And I bought this house. It's a 1925 Sears Craftsman house, and Sears was the first mobile or tinker toy, whatever you want to call it. Man, you could buy I wish I had my book here. I have a book on them.
I read a little bit last night. Yeah, it was interesting.
Sears made, and basically you would order a house. You could look at their catalog and you could order a house. This house right here probably cost about $5,000 maybe. back in 1925. And let me just tell you something. You got everything. They loaded it all up. You got the doorknobs, you got the doors, you got the nails, you got the plaster, you got everything that it took to put this house together was loaded on rail cars, and it was delivered to wherever was closer to wherever it was you were building, wherever the train was, and then you had to get it to wherever you're building your home and put it together. But everything was there, the plans, and there were a lot of them, and some of those houses were $10,000 or $15,000, but they're like $1 million homes now. Some of the, you know, in the 1920s, that was the thing. And let's just go even further. Sears also designed furnishings and home decorations.
Yeah.
And kitchens and all of the stuff you need for your kitchen, down to the silverware and the plates and the cups, which I talked about that last week. They had their own sets of china and dishes and towels. And what can't you buy at Sears? Food.
Right.
Food.
Yeah.
And they literally had these lines that were specific to your home.
Yeah, I read too that that they if you couldn't build it yourself, they would give you.
Sure, they had people that would come out and build
right.
them. For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. I find that interesting, you know, because I heard about it before, but then when I seen that you actually were renovating one, how's it coming along?
Well,
is that another video?
Yeah. Well, I haven't put any videos out for a while because I have tons of them. I also lost about, I don't know, 60 videos last summer. I literally sat my phone down, turned around, put something, and when I stood back up, somebody had stolen my phone at an estate sale.
Oh my gosh.
I talk about panic anyway. So
yeah,
I lost all the stuff that was on my phone, but I have a bunch of videos that I need to get edited and put out. But there's nothing I hate more than editing videos.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, it keeps you busy though. Not that you're not busy enough, but it's something else that you can, you know what I mean?
So
kind of work on.
My youngest son is 31. My oldest son is 37, and the oldest one has the little boy Dren, and then I have an adopted daughter and a granddaughter that's 16 that I see here and there once or twice a month.
Yeah.
So my youngest son is in the process of going through an accelerated master's degree at Portland State University for sociology, and the plan was to have the basement done for him to move into quite some time ago, but you know, I've put quite a bit of money into, we totally gutted it. I took the stairs from the main level that I'm on, and they're gone. There's no access to the basement except for outside. I had all new concrete poured. We had a door cut in. I had a window you have to have a 4 foot by 4 foot access window for fire and rescue, because that's what they need to get in with their equipment. We had all that done. I had the house completely redone, plumbing. I had a new line drilled in put in from the street, and most of the electrical done. And so the upstairs is still gutted. I haven't put the insulation in the walls up yet, but other than that, when I say upstairs, the upstairs, but that's just for my bed. That's just where I sleep. Dren had half of the upstairs and I had half of the upstairs, but now he's next door with his dad. But sometimes he comes and spends the night. So we have one of those air mattresses over there in case he decides to spend the night. But the basement has been a challenge. So I had it all plumbed and wired, and then we leveled the ground, had it filled it in, had it ground smoothed, and did the flaked coating. So it's got like a 10-year warranty, something like that. So now my son, I told him, I said, I'm not putting any more money into it. Whatever you want done, it's all you. So he's sleeping on a futon in the front room
It's
because
hard, and everything's it's hard though, like, to be doing everything and then
he
just
made
coming
it
up with the money.
He made it through his bachelor's degree with no student loans, and we're trying to, get him through his master's with no loans, because 90% of the people out there can't make their bills because they have student loans. But he works a full-time job too. So, that's where it is. And so he just had everything framed in. I picked up a brand new, never used sink cabinet and a faucet for $70 at an estate sale.
Of course.
I found a $1,000 Kohler bathtub.
Oh, wow.
On Craigslist for $300. So we went and got that, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And when I moved in here, I decided I wanted a new toilet, because I don't know how old the toilet was, but it wasn't efficient. And Costco, it was weird. I was going through Costco one day, and they had this big display on the end of toilets, and I was like, what? And I looked at the prices. So I bought 2 toilets at the same time. And then I bought all new appliances on Labor Day and Labor Day weekend. If you guys are going to buy appliances, that's the best time to buy appliances, is Labor. That's when you're going to get the best deal.
Really?
So I bought 2 complete sets of appliances. His are just sitting down there waiting for him. But we're almost there.
You'll get there.
Everything's
where there's a will, there's a way.
Yep. Everything's framed in. So I would say in the next 2 months, he'll be down there.
Yeah. So you'll be all happy when it's all done though,
I don't know. I want to go home.
Oh.
I really want to go home.
What do you mean you want to go home? Like
to the farm, to my home, to what was my life. But
okay. So it isn't that farm area there?
We sold it.
Okay, yeah, you sold. I'm just confused a little bit. Because I guess maybe because I was watching your videos a lot, and I see it. I seen you with some farmland and this and that, and
all of my old videos. Like, okay, you'll see a picture of me, a thumbnail of me standing in front of a barn that says "Make Mine Milk" on it. That was my last day there, and I walk and do a tour of the whole farm.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one then.
I have a video that's called "Does Money Grow on Trees?" You guys should watch that if you want something else. There is nothing out there that I can't teach you how to buy and sell and why you should.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it. So what platforms do you sell on then?
Just eBay and whatnot. I have renewed my seller accounts on Etsy and Mercari. I have a selling account on Posh, but I don't think I'll ever sell on Poshmark. I don't like their platform at all. I don't like the fact that you have to share.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do it, then you got to pay somebody to do it. I'm not paying. The whole reason I work for myself is because I work for myself. I don't want to deal. I'm done dealing with people, which is why I don't sell on Facebook Marketplace, which is why I don't sell on Nextdoor, which is why I don't sell on the other apps. I have had enough people interaction to.
So now you said that you how many did you do any whatnot shows yet?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You have. How do you like it?
I liked it. And as a matter of fact, this morning I was loading stuff into my you can have a shop on whatnot. Guess what?
You got a shop.
Like eBay and everywhere else, you can have a shop on whatnot. And you know what? It takes minutes, seconds,
really?
I guess, depending on how descriptive you want to get on your item.
Yeah.
It takes hardly any time at all. And I'm not talking about loading the buy it now store for a sale. I'm talking about uploading an item and putting it in your whatnot shop.
Yeah. I have to try it. What kind of, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of stuff have you sold on there?
I sold the first show that I did was all vintage clothing. So
Oh.
vintage slips and
Oh, that was like one of my first things to start selling.
and Pendleton and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. The good stuff. All right. So what got you started? Do you remember the first item you sold on eBay?
Yep. Pair of fry boots that I got at the Goodwill bins for like next to nothing.
Yeah.
I sold them for like $500 or $600.
Yeah.
I forget what it was. Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them in a while, like in a thrift store, you know?
You know, it's just like with everything else, as more and more people talk about it,
Right.
people are looking for them, which there's nothing wrong with that. People
Right.
that whine and this might make some people mad. People that whine and complain about people telling other people what to look for. Well, I can look at my desk right here and I could easily show you 80 items that you don't look for.
Right. There's always going to be like people worry about stuff like that, but there's always going to be people getting rid of stuff, throwing stuff away.
Would you even look at this at an estate sale or a garage sale? Would you even?
I can't see what it is. Is it cough drops or something?
It's just a box. It's a plastic box.
Oh, the box. Not really, probably.
Yeah, really? Because this box itself will sell. This was the last day of an estate sale. They were trying to sell all of these things for $3 a piece. I offered them $25 for the whole box. The box itself will sell for $20.
Yeah.
And then you have all of these little, what they are, a lot of them is promotional items from cereal and that kind of stuff. And if you don't have any idea, like here's something, Cinnamon Toast Crunch Star Wars Attack of the Legend. I don't know what's in there, but Google will tell me what's in there.
Yeah. Hey, on one of your, not to cut you off, Noel, but one of your videos, I don't know, because like I said, I watched a couple of them, but one of them you had, and I don't know, I'm just going to ask you what they are because I don't know, because they just look like pictures to me, but you had said that they were cabinet cards. Now, what are cabinet cards?
Cabinet cards are
because it just looked like a photograph, a photograph of some type of writing on it.
Cabinet cards are here's a cabinet card right here. They're thick. It's the material that they're framed in, that they're put in. You can't take it out of here. You can't get it out.
Oh, okay. So is that why they're called cabinet cards then?
Right. So they're super thick, and then you'll see these ones that are in this portfolio type thing, really thick, right?
Yeah.
This is the same material. So this could be considered a cabinet card, but really it's not. It's a wedding. And why did I pick this one up? Because it has everybody's name in it, and it's from 1940. And it's pretty cool. So people don't necessarily buy these for who's in it. They'll buy them for what is he wearing? How is he looking?
Oh.
You will, I think I talked about post-mortem pictures when we were talking about the cabinet cards.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see a cabinet card that's got Civil War or military or that kind of stuff. People are buying them for the era and the place that they've been taken in.
Yeah. I just didn't know, and I'm like, I have to remember to ask her. So what was your most unique item that you sold? If you can remember. If you can't, we can come back to that question, because you sold so many different.
Unique as in like
I don't know, like just different, because it just seems every time I see you posting something, not every time, but a lot of times when I see you posting something, it's something like, oh my God. And the profit I seen you get on some of this stuff, I'm like, that's crazy. Because I know you paid bottom dollar for it, and I pay very little for stuff too.
A lot of it I get for free, but I mean,
I might not make a lot of money, but I'll tell you what, I don't put a lot out either to make what I'm making,
These are pretty unique, and if you guys are walking past them, shame on you, because you can't get them anymore. They are vintage nylons.
Oh, I get them. I've been on to that game for years. Yeah, they're like the best.
These are, And it's not just these ones that you want to get. You want to
Oh,
get
no, I know.
I don't care if they're legs in the egg. The legs nylons that
Oh,
used to
yeah, an egg. Yeah. The first pair I sold, I'll tell you my story if you don't mind. I'll tell it real quick.
This is what I've been listing the last 2 days.
I paid 10 cents years ago. I paid 10 cents for a pack. I sold them for 74. This was back in the when I got them out the Salvation Army. This was a long time ago. I paid 10 cents for them. I sold them for $74. I thought, you know what? I'm going to ask that person why they paid so much for them.
I heard
because I didn't understand.
That, yeah.
And he told me, he told me exactly what to look for.
And you believed him. That's the funny part.
Well, no, the funny part is he told me the truth, because ever since then I made money on these nylons. He told me to look for the sweat. He told me what to look for. It's in the knit, like the flat knit have the square pattern. Hold it up to the light. And he said the mesh have the diamond pattern. Hold it up to the light. But he said that he gave me this big story. I think he liked answering the question, because he told me about when the women came out with it in the war, back in wartime. And he told me exactly. Plus, besides, he had a website that he sold them for much more than what I was asking, because he had models that were wearing them. But yeah, but if he didn't tell me that, I would have maybe got, because I was selling them for like. So
now let me tell you the real reason that they buy them. And
yeah,
90% of them sold go-to men.
Oh, I know that 90% of my sales to them are for men.
Because they're wearing them.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. And I don't care who buys them. I have nothing against. Yeah,
I don't care either. But they're amazing, and you can pick them up for a song 9 times out of 10. Like most of these were the last day of an estate sale, and they knew they were going to have to haul them off. So yeah. Oh, I know. Most of my, I'd say 90% of my sales of the nylons and pantyhose are to men. Yeah. I don't care, but he told me what to look for, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because I didn't know the difference between the knits. You know what I mean? And now, I mean, you can go research them in a heartbeat and learn everything you want to know.
Yeah.
The stockings actually that you need a garter to hold up are the.
Oh yeah, the nylons. Yeah.
No, stockings.
Yeah, some of them have the keyhole in them and the seam ones, and the ones that have the black Cuban heel. They're like my favorite thing. Like I look and I know exactly what to look for in them, but yeah, they're a good seller.
Yeah, all of those that I just showed you have the Cuban heel.
Yeah, do they? Yeah. All right. So let's see. So what does since you have a lot going on, like you're doing everything yourself and everything, Noel, how do you plan out your weeks? Because I know you take care of your grandkid and you have other stuff going on, with everything and with reselling.
The only thing that I have that's planned is my Thursday night show.
So so do you have a routine how you list, or any kind of do you have certain days?
Usually I try to list in the morning, or at least get drafts done in the morning, and then I go and do my shipping. I don't have my stuff on the property because I don't have a shed yet. I have a small storage shed that's like 10 by 15, something like that. But I don't have a garage anymore or a shop. So I have everything in storage. There's some videos out there on that too. But it's just down the street. It's it's 1.9 miles round trip from their back here. So it's less than a mile down there. So I'll do that. I go down and do my shipping, spend some time down there messing around with stuff, because I have 5 storage units.
Do we really?
I have one 10 by 10 that is all toys and vintage clothing. I have a 10 by 10 that is all ephemera, cards, pictures, slides, books. I have a 10.
Did you do a video on that? Because I have to watch that if you did. I think you did. I don't know.
I'm moving my business.
Okay.
Just recently this year. I just moved all my stuff because I had multiple storage units from moving from the farm and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I have some videos on that. So I am in the process of wanting to really ramp up on Whatnot because I want to empty 2 storage units by the beginning of June.
Yeah. Now, do you sell? I guess the items you're pricing them. Are they the same price you would list on eBay or?
Yep. Why would you sell? Why would
Well, no,
you?
I'm just wondering because I know people sometimes some of the things I'm seeing are they're just getting tons and tons of sales on there, and I'm wondering if that maybe is a better place to sell. Not
Well,
in a,
you may get less when you first start out, but people who start auctions on eBay for 99 cents and sell their item for 99 cents deserve what they get. People who start an auction for $1, $3, $5 on a $200 item or a $10 item, you start your auction at what you want, the least amount of money you would accept for something. I don't care if you're on eBay, Poshmark, Craigslist, wherever it is you're selling your stuff. If you're doing an auction, you start your item for the least amount of money you'd take for it, plus shipping, and let it ride from there. And this is how I feel about Whatnot. I offered something on my first sale, 4 items for $5. I got them for free. They were an undergarment that you wear under your nice clothes in case you sweat and stuff like that. They're vintage. They were vintage. They were
is it like a corset?
No, it's not a corset. This is an item, I can't think of what it's called right off the top of my head, that is used by somebody who perspires a lot, or maybe they're wearing a costume like at Disney or something like that, or long before we had the type of washing machines and stuff that we have now. But basically you could wash these 100 times a piece. Anyway, I offered them all 4 of them for $5 and nobody bit on them. And I said, you guys, this is a guaranteed quick sale. They sell crazy. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to change my price on them. $5 is what I'm willing to sell them to you for. So I just listed them all myself, and I sold all 4 of them for close to $100.
That's what I would have said. You're lucky I wasn't there. I would have got them right up from you. Because I would, because I know you know what you're talking about.
There were people in there that knew what they were. And I was just like, the 4 of them together weighed less than a pound. So it had nothing to do with a shipping price. I don't think I did a Instagram post, because if you guys follow me on Instagram, I show a lot of my wet solds on Instagram. Courtney's beating me over the head because not really. I mean, she's like, your channel will blow up if you just started doing more wet solds. And I said, I know.
I was just going to ask you that.
I used to do wet solds every Monday morning. There are a lot of older wet solds here. They're called Kleinert's women's undershirt garments, and they look like a package of pantyhose. They're in a silver container. Basically, they look like a package of pantyhose, and that's probably what a lot of people think they are, but they're called Kleinert's. Stay Right garment shields. I sold 3 of them for $55.99 and another one for $19.19 for a total of $68.72 and $26.15 within less than a week of listing them.
Yeah. So what's your least favorite part of reselling? Like what part don't you really like?
I hate listing with purple passion.
Do you? A lot of people, I like listing, but a lot of people hate listing.
It's not the actual listing itself, because listing takes 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Research, because for me, I sell a lot of weird items.
So you look at
snapshot, the
picture,
because 98% of my items don't have a barcode. There are very few things that have a barcode that I will use the barcode and the UPC in my listing, unless it's a book, because when you use a barcode for something in your listing, and that barcode comes with reviews from buyers, and there's a bad review on that barcode, it transfers to your store and it makes it look like you have bad reviews about yourself.
See, that's something to think about.
Think twice, think thrice before you use a barcode in your does not apply is very easy to do. Use a barcode to help you look things up and get a price for sure. But I strongly suggest that unless it's new in package, and when you scan that barcode and you use the barcode to help you get reviews, which it does, right? If somebody's scanning, they're yours.
They'll see that, because I know I look at stuff and I look at the reviews, and
a lot of people look at reviews. They look at your store review. They look at your
feedback, everything. Yeah. So when are you most productive in the morning, or?
I get up about 6:30, between 5 and 6:30, and I go to bed when I'm tired. Or like yesterday, I was so wiped out because I had traveled, and I live right at the border of Washington, Oregon. I live right on the Washington side.
Yeah.
There's the I-5 bridge that goes across. I'm 1 mile from Oregon. So Salem is the capital of Oregon, and that's where we went. And it's only an hour away. It's 55 minutes. And I was pooped last night. I was fighting myself so hard. I needed to get some listings up because I list every day 10 to 20 items. And if you aren't, and it's been 2 years, it's been real sporadic because of selling the farm, moving from the farm, other stuff. I haven't had, my sales aren't where they should be. And it's because I haven't been consistent every day listing like I should be for the last 2 years. So I'm trying to get a draft base up, but that I have a hard time doing that because as soon as I finish a listing, I just want to let it go. Yeah. I don't make drafts. I just do them, But I know if you get off that being consistent and I get off track a lot. Oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing with, I may have to go pick up Dren. I may have to do this. I may have to do that. So working for myself is great. I answer to me. Yeah. I have to answer to me if I've spent more money than I thought I should spend or do. I'm the one that's fighting with myself. Oh, my Jeep is loaded full of crap.
Yeah, but like when I can't find something, it's my own fault. You know what I mean? It's my fault, Even though I go around the house bitching and I get mad at him and he didn't do nothing.
No. Well, and that's
but another. You don't understand though, It's just
that's
stressful.
Another reason, why I love the storage unit because I have. If you guys saw,
how is your organization? Like how are you organized?
I lost 2 things in the last couple of months, and it's only because we moved. Because
really,
I had people helping me. I have a lot of stuff now. I don't list anything now without putting something in the custom SKU. So I know where I bought it. ES for estate sale. The first 2 initials of what estate sale company I bought it from.
I should start doing that.
How much I paid for it and the day I listed it, because I delist and sell similar 200 items almost every day, between 100 and 200 items every day. And when you do that, it gets a whole new number. So it's not going to tell you that you listed this 12 years ago. And I am very much a list it and forget it. If you spent the time to purchase it, to look it up, to list it, is it hurting you to have it sit there? It didn't sell in the first 90 days. It didn't sell in 2 years. Well, the person looking for it
ain't gonna find it.
Looking for it. So then I've had this argument with a lot of people. So then it's kind of like, I have the room to store stuff. Am I paying a storage unit fee? Yeah, but I could sell one item and my storage unit's paid for.
Right.
And and that's just kind of where that is. So people are like, oh, you have so much money into all of this stuff. Well, do I or don't I?
It's money in the bank waiting, like.
Because I don't consider it a death pile. I consider
No.
it a money pile. And
Yeah.
during the pandemic, when there were people that couldn't get out, I didn't have any problems. I was out every day pretty much. I did all the shopping for my mom and my grandmother and my aunt and stuff like that. And then all of the thrift stores were shut down, right? So nobody had anywhere to take anything. You could take it to the dump, I guess, but I had a spot on the side of my garage and people would just bring stuff in and put it there. And I would call people and I'd be like, I have a load of stuff. Do you want to come look through it? Take whatever you want. You know, and then it would be like, go through it. What could I save to take to, we had a place called Neighbors Helping Neighbors, which is the local food bank. And I'm very good friends, lifelong friends with the gal that runs it. And I would say, do you have anybody that needs this, or this? And then she would tell me and I would take it to her. But I sent out lots of boxes across the country to lots of people that needed inventory to list. And they didn't get any. And that was
nice. Yeah.
They weren't working.
Yeah. That's kind. That's nice of you. Back to sell similar. You said a very, very, very good tip in one of your videos. Now I sell my own stuff, sell similar. I never, ever, ever sell similar on somebody else's product. But do you want to share that tip remember you said, don't sell similar on somebody else's product, because I have it written here. I wrote it down.
What you mean, like if you're gonna copy their listing?
Yes, because you don't know how much they know. They could not know. It was in the Tupperware video. They could not know nothing about the product. And you're selling similar, your item, but you're taking their information and you don't know how much they know about it.
So if you Google Lens something or you spend the time to look something up and then you decide to buy it, hit sell similar and save that listing while you're going down in it. Before you end out of it and close it out, put the price in that you see the prices at. So you have a reference. So you're not going right back through that and doing all the research again, right? But when you get to the point where, and that's why I say that could be considered a draft, because how many items do you look up when you're sourcing? I don't look very many up anymore, but I do look some. So if you have already spent 10 minutes looking something up, and you find it and you decide, okay, this is a deal, I'm going to buy that, hit that sell similar and then put a price in there and close it out. When you get ready to go back in there and take your photos and get that listing going, you need to go through bit by bit. You need to check the category. Is it really listed in the right? Did they really have it listed in the right category? Because they might not have. You got to check the category. You got to check all of the specs that they have put in or not put in. Because a lot of people, they don't even do item specifics. And you know what? I do as many of the item specifics as I can, because that little search bar on the side of where they can say,
filter it out.
I want mid calf. If you're talking about pair of pants, I want 2% lycra. I want this. I want that. I don't want this. Every little box that they check is a deselect for your item if you don't have those in there. And so could I list faster if I wasn't doing a lot of item specs? I could, but also if I find 10 of the same thing that I'm looking for, I will open all 10 of those and I will look to see how many item specs that those people have already put in.
That's a good idea.
I will choose the one that has the most item specs already put in, because it's
right. Because we don't know everything, and some people do know. You know what I mean? They'll know more stuff about items that we don't.
But yeah, definitely, when you're selling similar off of somebody else's listing, you have to look at what category and what they have in, and you can't always use their title, and you never should use the whole title unless it's a sold item that you took your sold similar from, right? Because that's not right.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah.
But people do it all the time. In my mind, that's not right to use the same title as somebody else that you've stolen, borrowed. If it was stolen, it wouldn't allow you to do it. That you've borrowed their listing from.
Yeah.
And who knows where they got their listing from, right? So do your due diligence and make sure that you check those items and that you check that
Yeah, because you don't know if they're wrong in everything they wrote there, you know?
Yep.
So do you still do, I caught part of this and I'm not sure what video or whatever, but do you still do calculated shipping?
I only do calculated shipping on anything over a pound.
Oh, okay. I do
have
flat rate. I just do, not flat rate, but I just do the flat rate shipping, not flat rate priority, but flat rate. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
I'll do like,
I have a flat rate shipping. I have 4 first class flat rate shipping policies depending on ounces. There's actually 5. Do I have 4 or do I have 3? 1, 2. I have 3. There's actually 4 breakoffs in first class as far as ounces goes. 1 to 3.9. And then it's 4 to 8, 7.9. And then it's 8 to 12 or 11.9, whatever,
Yeah, that's how mine is like.
And then it's 12 to 16 ounces. Well, I only have 3. I do 0 to 4 ounces. I do 4 to, what do I do? 4 to
maybe 8.
8, and then I do the rest of it up to 12. I only and it's the same price. I don't care if
that's how I do mine. Like that's
blocks down the street, they're gonna pay me the same shipping price as somebody that lives in Florida.
That's how mine is. That's how I do mine.
As far as and then I also have a set shipping price on my first class for international. I have shipping business policies. Most people don't. They don't know how to use them, and that's a crying shame. Because if you're letting eBay choose your shipping price for international sales, I don't care what anybody says, then you're making less sales because the rates are just astronomical.
Yeah, I did the one time, and eBay said like $8.95, and it was like, I don't know if it was like $15.99 or $16.99, and I always did my own. Oh, I always put like $14.99 or $15.99, whatever, you know.
I can ship to Canada 9 ounces or 4 ounces for $9 and something.
Yeah.
eBay will charge them $19.99.
Yeah.
And then and it's not just screwing your customer. You're getting taxed on that. You're paying fees on that.
Yeah.
Because they take that.
They take fees out of our shipping.
Over a long time ago, they would list their item for $6 because eBay would only take the fee out of the $6, and then they'd have $78 shipping because eBay wasn't taking fees and stuff out of shipping.
Yeah.
And you still see a lot of people do that. Well, now eBay takes their fee out of everything, and I can't say I blame them. So if you don't like it, find another platform to ship on or to sell on. You know, but so I need to go back in now because for the last 2 years, the post office has really been wonky on changing this and changing that for a few and this and that. So I think I have 22 shipping business policies because if you're shipping international and you sell makeup, can't sell it to Europe. You'll get suspended. You're shipping international and you sell Levi's, can't send those internationally either. You'll get suspended.
Really? See, I didn't know. You should make a video about them things. You probably maybe you did.
Videos out there. I don't sell Levi's. Go on Courtney Bull Buddies and watch her Vero list. And
I watched that already. Yeah, I watch her too.
She has a huge Facebook group. I
watch her Veros when they come out.
I'm a moderator, so if you're nasty on there, guaranteed you will get suspended.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't watch it. I don't watch them live usually. I mean, it's usually at night when I'm watching everybody's. You know what I mean?
Put them on. Just put them. I have three computer screens and a phone. I will have this one over here either playing music or I will put somebody's channel on that I haven't.
I do sometimes. I get distracted.
I just listen as I don't watch it. You can pull up another tab and put it over there.
Yeah.
So you just listen. You have to know yourself, right?
Yeah. I used to do that in the morning downstairs, but then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to focus, you know?
Lots of times I just put music on, but I've also noticed that if I don't put anything on, I am way more productive.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I listen to Mel Robbins a lot.
I don't know who that is.
Mel Robbins is a motivational speaker.
Oh.
She's got an amazing podcast. So I pretty much listen to her every day, and then I'll just listen. I love her to death. If you guys, she's your girl. High five habit. Give yourself a high five every day because you deserve it.
All right, let's see. I think I asked you. So, okay, so the last thing, what would you, a beginner, what kind of tips would you give for a beginner, somebody that, you know, they come on to YouTube, because you do a YouTube channel, and that's work in and of itself, you know, with everything, not just the reselling, but like, what would you tell a beginner that is watching YouTube videos and sees, you know, the high sales, and they're thinking, oh, maybe I should do, like, what would you do? What would you tell them?
Believe 90% of the YouTubers that they watch. I would tell them that they need to go watch my friend Scott, the Cha-Ching King, because he is a teacher. He's a retired teacher and principal, and he has put out some of the best, hands down, period, videos on how to start selling, how to find things, how to list them, how to ship them. And they're small and concise. And so if you want to learn how to sell, and you need to sell now, and you don't want to spend 6 months watching people, you can always message me. If I have time and it takes me less than 5 minutes to answer you, and I don't forget to answer you back. I'm good at that sometimes, so don't feel bad if you feel neglected. Then I will help. But if I don't have the answer and you have asked me, I will find somebody to send you to. But Scott, the Cha-Ching King,
I think he's on my end. I think I'm on his, we're on each other's Instagram, but I never knew he had a channel or anything, you know, or maybe I am subscribed. I don't know.
He started his channel long after I started mine, but I've been friends with him on Instagram since he basically started his Instagram. He is an amazing person. He is probably one of the most patient, nicest. You will never hear him say anything bad about anybody except for his wife Melody, and he's just teasing her. They are hilarious. Anyway, so he has put out some amazing videos, and I would highly suggest that anybody that wants to learn and needs to learn right now how to do stuff, to go watch his videos on selling on eBay.
Yeah. Thank you.
He's the best.
Thank you so much, Noel, for being on here. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Again, please, I highly recommend go subscribe to her channel. Again, I'll have her link in the description to her Instagram and her YouTube channel, but she finds the most coolest things that you wouldn't even think about, like selling, and you make crazy profit on them.
I need to start doing, I used to, every Sunday night, I used to do a haul video of what I'd found.
Oh, did you?
During the weekend. That they're way, way, way back.
Yeah.
I do have playlists set up.
Yeah, her playlist is your playlist. Yeah, and she shows things too. Like, it's not just, she don't just talk about it, but I like how you show stuff.
There's always a squirrel moment, or there's always an extra bolo in every one of my Let's Talk About It that has nothing to do with the title.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not going to say that I think you should sit down and watch every one of them, because some of them are 3 hours long.
No, but there's a lot of information in a lot of them, and it's, you know,
while you're doing something. Like, I listen to a lot of different channels, but I listen to them. And how do I listen to them? I put my earbuds in and I put my phone in my pocket and off I go.
Yeah.
Something that I think I need to watch, that I want to see, I will just remember that, and I will come back and I will either put it on when I'm in here, or when I sit down to have a cup of coffee, I might put it on and go find that specific thing. But also remember, you guys, you can go to the settings of your on your YouTube channel, and you can change the playback speed. You can slow it down if somebody talks too fast, or you can speed it up. You can speed it up to 2 times. So if you're watching a video that's 3 hours long, you can speed it up to 2 times, and then it's only an hour and a half, and it can be quite entertaining because they're, their voices, everything's different. So you don't have to go, oh my God, it's 3 hours.
Yeah, you see, I never thought, I would have never even knew that. So thanks for sharing that,
Because there's a lot of people that when you're showing something, they will slow it down to as slow as they can get it, so they can see every little detail, because they want to know. That's how they learn.
Well, yeah, now your Pete, I don't mean to cut you off, Noel, but I know you shared your PDF the other day on that Tupperware.
Oh yeah, that's in my Tupperware video. There's a link to that.
Yeah, I have to look at that and get that out. I don't know if what is there, 44 pages or something?
I've had these, I sold Tupperware for years, but I've had these printed out forever. But don't just, that's one of my that's a big pet peeve for me, people listing Tupperware. Here's a jadeite green
what's your pet? What's your pet peeve? Because I just picked up some after I seen your video about 5 pieces.
People that list them with the wrong, like they're going to list a jadeite green. They're going to list a lettuce keeper as a jadeite green. Tupperware never made a jadeite green. It's just green.
Yeah.
Or olive green. But
I knew exactly where to look for my numbers yesterday, because I just got them like the day after I watched your video. I knew exactly where to look for those numbers on the lid, and just because from watching it. But that's a time saver.
You will find some things that you'll never find in these catalogs, and that's because they were gifts given at a party as a hostess gift.
Yeah. Did you sell that?
Those little party, like the little magnets and the orange peelers and that. Yeah. Those don't have a lifetime warranty. They don't have a number on them because you can't buy them. Well, you could if you were a Tupperware consultant, because you just buy a whole big bag of them. But those, you'll never find those in any of these lists, because they didn't literally sell them as an item. That those were free gifts. But there are a lot of things out there that
I seen that you picked up those Scentsy. You were somewhere at one thrift store. I don't know if you went with somebody or you were by yourself, but you picked up those, because I sold Scentsy too, but you picked up those little Scentsy testers. And did you ever end up selling them?
Oh yeah, I sold them all in a big lot. And
I figured you would, because I knew they'd go quick for you.
A tip on that kind of stuff too, selling stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Because people are like, they won't sell candy, anything that melts during the summertime. That's a long time for people that live in the South, right? And there's a reason for that, because it melts.
Yeah.
So if you know somebody, or you I have somebody that has medical supplies shipped to them. They come in a cooler with ice packs in a box, and once a month. And so I have them shipped here because they don't have any place to ship them where they could not get stolen.
Yeah.
So they just come here, and it's no big deal. They're at work, I get it, or my son gets it, and we open it up and put their medicine in the fridge. But then I don't keep the ice packs, but you could.
Yeah.
Keep those ice packs in your freezer, because if you're shipping candles or any kind of candy or anything like that, makeup.
Yeah. And they even have those coolers that are insulated,
It's just a styrofoam cooler. And I'll tell you what, I shipped a piece of Ellie Smith glass in one the other day, because it fit right in it. And you got a wall.
Did you really?
You got a wall.
Whatever
all
works.
I had to do was protect the 2 pieces from themselves, right? So that they didn't. And you're already there. You got a box. You got your packing material. So if you have a place to keep that stuff, and you have somebody you can get it from, great. If you don't, guaranteed, go find a pet clinic or just look on Craigslist or put an ad on Craigslist looking for, there's all the different food companies that send the prepackaged meals, and those all come in a cooler.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, if you sell a lot of breakables or anything that melts, and you don't sell that stuff that melts during the summer, well, there's your out. And they're free.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for your time today.
Absolutely.
And I hopefully your neck feels better.
We can only guess, I've had a stiff neck for 4 days now, and hopefully sooner or later it'll go away.
Yeah. Did you get anything at the sale?
This weekend?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a lot. My whole Jeep's full.
Oh,
It's ridiculous.
yeah.
I'm gonna out myself here because my friend and my other two friends on Sunday morning, I was just wiped out, and it's like they wanted to. We had talked about going to a couple more sales that were down in Salem, and I go, you know what? I'm just gonna go home. I spent a lot of money, and I need to just get home and get listing and stuff like that. Well, two of the sales that we went to were from one of my very favorite estate sale companies, and she had another one up in Beaverton, which was about 2/3 of the way home. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go check it out. Well, how she does her sales is until noon on the last day, everything's 50% off. But if you want to take a bag, you can fill a bag for $20. Do you know how much stuff you can fill it? And she doesn't care if it's an IKEA bag. They have brown paper bags there. She doesn't care. Whatever size bag you are, fill it. So I walked in, and there was this whole 8-foot table full of vintage car magazines, like muscle
gosh,
magazines. They were calendars. So we're talking, some of them were this big, right? What is that? The huge ones? She was asking $10 for them just on at the regular sale, which isn't bad. And then everything was 50% off, right? And there was, I don't know, it was heavy. There was a lot of them there. And I just turned around and I looked at her and I go, so if I can fit all of these into this bag here, can I have them for $20? And she goes, you can have all of them for $20. Don't rip the bag.
That's how it's done.
But basically they would have fit. The bag would have been like this. But if I'd have had an IKEA bag, they would have fit in there with no problem. And I could have put more stuff in. But here's the deal. I walked through the house. I filled the bag up. All the stuff in that bag will go on Whatnot.
Yeah.
I've already started listing because I got well over 20 items in the bag that I got. There was one thing I wanted to get that I didn't get because I was like, it was not going to fit in a bag. But it was a set of Christmas dishes from Farberware. I looked them up. She had $100 on them, so half price would have been $50. And after 1 o'clock, they kick everybody out for about 10 minutes. Maybe it's 2 o'clock. And then everything in the house is $1. Everything. So we were standing there, and she's doing her little spiel like she does. And I couldn't think of anything that was in there that I really wanted. And then I was like, oh, I can get that whole set of dishes. So as she's letting everybody back in, I just gave her $1 and I said, that's for the Farberware Christmas dish set.
Yeah, good for you.
Rubbermaid tub that was there that had the lid, so I got that for free too.
Wow.
So
that's how it's done, though. People want to get rid of stuff. People think that, you can't find stuff and this and that, but it's out there.
It's just depending on, so somebody could have bought that for $100 and kept it for themselves. They actually could have bought it for $100 and still made money on it. Because I looked at it. They could have bought it for $50 and still made some really good money on it. Now I bought it for $1.
I know.
And I'm just looking at it like this. It's the same amount of work at $150 or $1, right? It's some work to list that stuff and store it and pack it. Yeah. I'm all over listing it, storing it, and packing it for $1.
Right. Wow. So your whole car is filled then?
It is, because we went to 3 estate sales, 2 garage sales. We went to the Salem bins, and then I went to that estate sale on the way home.
Wow. Do you sort? How often do you source? Do you source just whenever, or just do you have
Every
a certain
weekend.
day?
Every weekend.
On the weekends.
We'll have 20, 30 estate sales
Do ya?
Least amount might be 5. There is never not, I don't care what time of year it is, an estate sale, a garage sale, or something going on here. Never. They don't care. They got, people have barns and shops and all of that stuff. The Pacific Northwest is probably the best place to sort. I hear people say all the time, "Oh, it's garage sale season." I'm like, when isn't it garage sale season?
Right.
Sale season. No, people die every day or move or sell their estates. Not every estate sale has resulted because of a death, and a lot of people get that. A lot of estate sales are because the person has either A, moved into a retirement community, B, they sold their estate because they can no longer take care of it, nor do they want to, and they've taken what they want, or C, they passed away, what is how it is. But not every estate sale is because of a death, and there are a lot of rude people out there that go to estate sales and think that everything should just be dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And that to me is simply amazingly frustrating to see the disrespect that people have for other people's things. And I have commented to people, I can hardly wait until your estate sale comes so I can offer crappy prices to your whoever, which I would never do.
Right.
I mean, it makes them think, it makes them stop and think.
Yeah.
Because people, everybody, I'm guilty myself.
Yeah.
Such a rut that we're in a box, right? So your whole thing, and I say this all the time, is think outside the box. How are your actions affecting somebody else? How are their actions affecting you? Lots of times
you're looking at as money, and they're looking at these are my loved ones' items.
Lots of times we don't even realize that we're being the way we are until somebody calls our attention to it, right? So I plead and beg with anybody that goes to an estate sale, if it's not in your price point to pick it up and sell it, walk away. If it's there tomorrow or the next day when it might be cheaper, then come back and get it. I never, ever, ever, ever dicker for a price at an estate sale, ever.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will give them more money because I know what I'm going to make on it. I've done that a lot of times. I've actually gone back and given money because I made way more than I thought. And I don't expect anybody else to do it, nor do I look down on them. That's just who I am.
Right.
Be who you are being, but be respectful and think this could be my house that people are going through, and my wife or daughter or whoever significant other has bills to pay and things to take care of. And this money that's being made at these estate sales, some of it goes to the company that's running the estate sale, and they do a lot of work. If you've ever set up an estate sale, which I help with them frequently, then you'll know. If you've had a garage sale, then you can have an idea. But an estate sale is totally different, because lots of times you're going to come in there and you got to clean. You got to clean all the stuff out that nobody's going to, that's garbage, that's truly garbage, ruined, whatever. You move everything, you pull all those little things in the boxes and under your cupboards and everything has to come out.
Yeah.
So be respectful of thinking that this could be people walking through your house and your life, what's left over after you either you're downsizing, you passed away, you're in an alternative care center or something like that. That's probably my biggest pet peeve.
True.
As far as sourcing and stuff like that, is the disrespect that people give the estate sale companies, and even people who are running a private estate sale for their own family. And
Yeah.
I sometimes think that people just don't realize that they're doing it, but I know, I mean, maybe that's me being in la la fairy tale land, right? I'm just trying to give the benefit of the doubt to a lot of people. There are some people out there that are just however they want to be. There's nothing you can do. There's
Yeah.
nothing you can do or say that will ever change them. But, you know, you can get probably, in my opinion, you will get your best deals always at an estate sale. And when I walked into that estate sale yesterday, there was somebody walking out, and I know she followed me. I couldn't think of her name, and I know I've seen her at lots of estate sales. And she looked me in the eye and she said, there's not much of anything in there at all, which was not true. And I
Yeah.
said, I looked at her and I said, oh, I can find something.
Good for you.
Because I don't look for this. I do look. I mean, if I see something that I know is going to be worth a lot of money and I want to deal with it, why wouldn't you pick it up?
Right. Right.
Same. I don't pick up CDs anymore. I don't pick up VHS. I don't pick up DVDs. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with $3, $4, $5 items. That's just me. But if that's what you do and it's easy for you and you're doing part-time, even full-time, there's tons of people out there that make lots of money off of those items. So just because somebody else doesn't want to pick it up because it's not in their time, in their monetary thing,
Right.
you know, for my time, what my time is worth and all of that, listing $3 or $4 something I'm maybe going to make $2 or $3 off of by the time everything's all said and done. That's not something I want to deal with.
Yeah. Right.
Now that would be a good business if you have a tween, any kid from pretty much 9 to whatever, something like that. And they know, even little toys, they can snap pictures. They know what their stuff is. You can teach them real easy. And you can open up, I have a second store that my granddaughter used to do. You can open up a second store and let them have that. It's all in your name and everything, but let them take the pictures, let them do the listings, let them learn how to do it. Let them have a little side hustle and help them buy a car or some shoes or a game or whatever it is that they want. And they did it because kids can't get part-time jobs anymore like we could when we were kids. So if you have a grandchild or a child and this is what you're doing and you want to teach them to be an entrepreneur and how to do stuff, they have a room full of toys. The best thing that I have ever done was take my grandson with me every time I go sourcing, that he's with me. And that kid can find vintage stuff like crazy. He brings me stuff all the time. He brought me something the other day that he had in his room. He goes, my dad and I are cleaning my room. And he goes, I'm pretty sure, he goes, do you want to sell this? And I said, tell you what, buddy, we'll look it up. And if it's worth listing, I don't list anything for less than $9. That's just me. I said, if it's worth listing, we'll list it. And then when it sells, he gets the money. But I'm seriously considering right now, because his dad's ramping up his store again, seriously considering taking my other store and just letting him have that.
Yeah. Well, he's learning a lot from you, you know?
You know, and it's not like it's any big deal. It's actually not even a store anymore. It's
especially if you're not using it.
No, it's just there. And
he'll learn.
You guys should everybody, in my opinion, should have 2 stores.
Yeah.
You know, they use a lot of the older eBay people used to. They had one that they bought on and one that they sold on. They didn't want people knowing that they had looking at their feedback and stuff like that between the solds and the not solds.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I have 100%. I don't have anything to hide. And even if there was a bad review that didn't get taken down or whatever happened, I mean, you have the ability now to go in and add a response when somebody puts a negative, or even if they put a positive and it's not really positive, you know, because people are hinky that way.
That was the worst thing they ever did. They should leave, sellers leave negative too. You know, I don't know why they ever got rid of that.
because people are mean, and 90% of the responses that sellers would leave would get removed. That's why, because people are mean. You think some of the buyers are mean? Listen to our community and listen to some of the videos and the crap that sellers.
I know, but why do you think that buyers should just have a say?
Do you hear Walmart and Nordstrom's and Costco and all of that talking about all the scammers or the shoplifters? Do you hear that all the time? No, you really don't. Everybody has a cost. Should we have to? No. Should everybody be like us? No. If the whole world was just like me, people would, it would just be full of padded rooms. But it takes everybody to make the world go round. It's like one bad apple spoils the whole barrel. Not really, if you find the bad apple fast enough and you can curtail them, right? So
right.
There's bad people out there that do bad stuff all the time. And at some point in time, are they gonna catch you? Yeah, but there are steps set up to take care of that. So don't be the negative Nancy, the negative whiner about all of these scammers. I don't talk about it very often unless I have something I'm not going to do a YouTube video. I got banned from eBay. And then you come onto the video and it's like, oh, I got suspended for 3 days. Being banned from eBay
is different than being suspended.
You just won't hear me. You just won't probably ever see me have a video like that in the first place, because I just don't talk about that stuff. Sometimes I will mention a return. I get returns. Everybody gets returns. I've had 4 returns in the last couple of weeks, and they weren't cheap ones. But guess what? List it and resell it when it comes back. It's not you. And don't be the person that says, well, I don't have returns on my store, because you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So
I always offer returns.
Every time I see a seller or somebody say, I don't offer returns. Sorry, buddy.
You do.
Because eBay will make you take.
I don't know why they would have that option though. If you know what I mean, like why would eBay have that option for people? Like I have 30-day free returns, but I don't know why they would have that option.
I will do a free return when I do free shipping, and I'll be 6 feet under when that happens. I will never do a free return ever.
I don't do free shipping.
I don't do free returns either. I don't need to be top rated seller plus. That's all.
No, I'm not. I'm top rated seller, but it might have went down though. I don't know.
I don't. You should be paying attention to that.
Yeah, I don't. Well, as of this video, I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
If you lose your top seller and you go below,
I think I'm top rated.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that have stores and don't pay attention to their metrics, and I talk about.
Well, I look at them
a lot. If you aren't paying attention to those every day, especially during the holidays, especially if there is a Mother Nature event, tornado, hurricane, something like, ice storm, whatever, that's what I call a Mother Nature event. If you're not, and it affects the post office, down in the bottom of your seller hub, there's always something that's eBay is going to protect you because of the event. Like there was, I think part of Florida flooded this last week. So there are going to be places where the post offices are closed down.
Right.
And the shipping time is not going to be the same. But I'm going to tell you guys, pay attention to your seller matrix, because if you go below average and they check the 20th of every month, eBay sweeps everybody's stores and they check your shipping and on time and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
You. If you go below average, you will be there for over a year. They won't promote your listings. You can't promote your listings.
Yeah.
You can't put your store on sale. You can't do anything except for sit there and suffer and then start listing on your other store that you should have, because it takes a while.
I'm above average right now, but you know what I mean? That I know,
I'm just and that's why you want to have another store just in case something.
But I don't
get in a
I
car.
don't know if you have another, but if you have another store, Because I know, like, now this was a long time ago. But that's a different thing,
If
though.
you
I
have
was thinking, like,
each one of your stores, they may be in your name and all of that stuff. If you have two different stores,
they're separate.
they have two. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
I don't know. So we have two grocery chains, Albertsons and Safeway. I don't know. I don't think they have either one of those back there because they didn't in New York when I was back there. But they used to be separate entities, and now they're together. Now the same company owns both of them, but they're still Albertsons and Safeway. So they're owned by the same person, but they're still two separate stores, right? They're different.
Yeah.
So if you have two stores and something happens to your first store, and I'm not talking about eBay closing you down. If they if you get closed down, like, you're done, you can't sell on eBay anymore, you're getting closed down on both stores because they go by your IP address and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where all of that is, and there's ways around that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give this. It's called moving and having.
We don't need none of that.
But if you have two stores and your main store, maybe you have one that you only want to list plush in. Let's just say that. Maybe you have one that you only want to list plush in because you don't want to put, or maybe you have one that you only do retail arbitrage in. Or maybe you have one that you just don't have hardly anything in, or is just sitting there idle. Mm-hmm. You used it for a while and then you changed. If you go below average, something bad happens. Maybe you had a car accident or whatever, and you go below average, or you had some kind of surgery or something, and nobody could get in. My kids know how to get into my store and put it on vacation and do whatever. You got to have somebody that knows how to do that for you in case something bad happens, so that they can go in and take care of it. So nobody out there is getting screwed out of something should something happen to you. It's kind of like having a life insurance policy. We should all have one, right?
Right.
Or will. So if something should happen to you and nobody can get in there and do something, and your store goes below average, which it's going to take you a year to get that back up there, and you have another store, you can start bringing your other listings from your old store, the one that's below average. You can start importing those. You're going to have to do it, but you already got your pictures and everything. They're still there. They're still selling it, but you can't run sales. You can't do promoted listings. You can't do anything. And they're going to hide your stuff. And I know this for a fact because that's what happened to my son's store. Mm-hmm. So I'm speaking from experience because I was managing his store after all of that happened. So by having another store out there, then you
all
have
under your same name and everything in your same bank account.
My other store is a different name. Plus, you may have stuff that you want to sell that you don't want. I have like 800 and some followers that follow my store. What do I have?
But
I have 837 followers. That's 837 people, probably mostly from YouTube and whatnot, that follow my store. That means anytime they want to, they can go in and see what I'm doing or buy stuff or what like that. If you have stuff that you don't want to share, that you don't want to, maybe you want to do jewelry, or maybe you want to do something that's adult, which you can to an extent, or maybe you just have stuff that you don't want that's a retail arbitrage that you got for a good deal that you don't want everybody else to know that you got, then you have another store that you can put that in. A lot of people do that, especially people that have a high social media. They will have another store, maybe two, that they will put things on that they don't want to share with everybody, and that's okay. Now,
do you use the same bank account for the other one? I guess you could.
I have.
So I have more than one, but I'm wondering, can I use the same bank account?
Why couldn't you? It's all coming from eBay. No.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
I have one bank account for my eBay store. I have a personal bank account the bank account that's attached to my other one is the bank account that I use for Dren. So that's Dren's money. Dren's my grandson, because I'm not using it for eBay right now. So his money sits in there, and it has a debit card attached to it. And then I have my personal account, and then I have an account for the house.
Yeah,
But
I should start
they're
another
all
one.
at the same bank.
Yeah.
They're just separate accounts. That way I can just go on and deal with everything in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
So to speak. So
I should start. I should do it,
because when it didn't used to be, but now when you start, you can only sell so many, you can only list so many items, right?
I think you have a limit.
Yeah, you have unless you have another store like when
I don't have a limit, but I mean,
you don't have a limit now, but when
when you first start, you do.
When you first start, you do. Maybe you had an eBay account 20 years ago and it sat dormant, and now you want to start an eBay account up. Figure out how to get back into that eBay account, because that eBay account will have no limits on it.
Right. Okay?
If you don't and you want to start selling, when you're done watching this, go start an account, because you're only going to be able to list a certain dollar amount.
I think it's $500 for
or so many listings, right? And then as soon as you start selling and they start seeing how you're going to handle your business, how well you do with your shipping, how well you do with your customer service, every month they will reevaluate it. But if you're doing really well and selling really well, then you can call them and request,
right,
email or text and request to have more listings added on. I didn't have that with my second store that I started up, because I already had a store. What did it was 10 listings. I think I could do the first month. And after that, they were like, they gave me I didn't have to go through 3 or 4 months of requesting, And so that could be too. You may not have that if you open up another store. You may have it for the first month until they see. So find something that you can get for cheap that's going to sell for well. You guys know you can go to the $1.25 store now, the Dollar Tree. There's a lot of stuff at the Dollar Tree that you can make a profit on.
Yeah.
So if you need to start up a store, take $20. There used to be a gal that I followed that I was friends with. She was in New York, and I can't think of the name of her channel right now, but she literally had a series of videos out on how to start an eBay store and build it up with $20.
Did she? Yeah.
And it was very good. I don't think she's doing YouTube anymore, and I don't even know if her channel's up anymore. That was years ago when I was learning how to list. But anyway, everybody go follow Scott, the Cha-Ching King, and make sure that you give Patricia a thumbs up on her video.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Noel. It was so nice talking to you.
Absolutely.
You have a good rest of your day.
You too.
And go subscribe to Noel, Farm Girl Scavenger. Okay, thanks. Okay, take care. Bye.